Hi, I'm Natalie.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Hannah. Welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest news happening in the Disney parks, runDisney, and other non-Disney sports news. The 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France are in full swing, and we are rooting for Team USA from our home turf. Sadly, we didn't get the opportunity to travel to France to watch the games. Our own version of the Olympics just ended with the registration process for the Princess Half Marathon weekend in 2025, and in surprising news, we got themes for Springtime Surprise in 2025. So lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us.
And you've started recording. Okay.
You told me.
I know. Well, why don't you start it when Natalie is talking about something important?
Because I was
I don't
waiting
know.
until the race was over.
Yeah,
Oh,
an expletive
true.
would have
Just
Well,
in case
that
she
could have been-
screamed or something. I don't know. Well, yeah, it could have been
During
exciting.
the men's
What an exciting
10,000,
start that would have been.
I was screaming, "Go!"
Did you guys see that there is a 20-kilometer walk race in the Olympics?
Yes, and they go faster than I could dream to.
I know. They walk so
They
fast.
clipped the 10K in 40 minutes.
Well, because they're like speed walking.
Yeah,
It was
well,
fast.
I saw. I don't know if it's from this year or if it's like a photo that's circulating from past years, but it's one of the Chinese athletes, and he's got both. Like, it's an air shot, which is not allowed in race walking. That's the whole qualification.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
difference.
Is you have to have one foot on the ground,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think
For it
so.
to be
I don't know.
walking, one foot must remain on the ground. But they
Right.
they toe the line so closely.
They really do.
With the technique.
No, I was
yeah.
watching. They're supposed to be like heel toe, and they're not. I don't know. But my biggest pet peeve now is seeing all those memes of people where they're like, my toxic trait is thinking that I could train for the Olympics and beat them, or that I can beat somebody in Olympic swimming. Like, no, you can't. Sit down. That's just that is absurd. Like, you think of Katie Ledecky, who has swam like over 23,000 miles in her lifetime. When you add up practice, meets, Olympics, everything, and she's swam the circumference of the earth, and you're gonna say that you can beat Katie Ledecky?
Or,
No,
like,
you can't. You don't know anything.
Her bronze was disappointing.
But what if-
Like, that's not even her signature event, but thank
No.
you. And she is also top 3 in the world.
And she literally made it to the Olympics. Can you say that? No. So sit down. You're fine.
I think, just to be ironic, we should all film a short video of us running up to some imaginary finish line, and then our partners handing us one of our red Disney medals, and we put the "my toxic trait is" over that.
That is funny.
One of my favorite trends right now is, well, it was kind of technically before the Olympics started, and it was, unfortunately, I'm sad to say that I did not qualify for the 2024 Team USA for the Olympics, and it's just people doing gymnastics and they're falling, like just face planting. It's so hilarious, and I kind of wanted to make a video of me running so terribly and just dying in the heat and being like, unfortunately, I did not make it onto Team USA's track and field team. Because obviously I was never a good swimmer. I was never fast. I could never in my wildest dreams even think about qualifying.
But what if we added on to the end of that, you with a princess medal or the screenshot of your princess registration, and be like, I didn't qualify, but I did get into the Disney race.
Oh.
I
got into
in
my
yes,
Olympics,
I was
actually.
Yeah, what I got in was that I was willing to pay over $600.
And you were a faster clicker than someone.
True.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, not really,
Or
because my
one of your
computer
friends
actually
was
hates
a
me.
faster clicker.
Yeah, that's more realistic, actually. Hannah was a much faster clicker than I was, and she
I
got
just got
into
lucky.
Yeah, she randomly got a higher placement in the queue because I was literally there at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday morning.
Oh,
So
yes.
sad.
We have so much to talk about
So
this
much.
week.
We have tons. There's
We've
a
got-
lot to talk about.
Yeah. This is going to be, so there's like a main topic, but mostly it's just an expansion of all of our training updates, news, all of that, because there's so much to cover this week. So I recommend getting some water, some tea. If you're on a run, make sure you got enough fuel, because you're going to need it.
Okay, so let's get into it. You'll also
right.
have a lot to edit in this video.
Yeah, this is my goal for this week, is to make sure I get this one edited before I go to the beach next week.
Ooh, wow, that's exciting.
Yes, I'm
All
very
right.
excited. It's like the most I need a vacation. I haven't been on vacation other than to go to Princess in February. I haven't been on vacation this year. Losing it.
Oh.
We've talked about how I've been my life has been falling apart. I need this. So
Well,
I'm excited.
everybody needs vacation. This is
Yes.
good. I'm happy for you.
All right, let's talk training, guys. We just finished week 5. I haven't technically because I'm doing my long run tomorrow, but week 5 towards Dopey or marathon weekend. How's it going?
Okay. So
Today
okay,
you get
hear
to
me
hear
out.
about the balance between training and life because we all have full-time jobs.
Oh God. Okay. Then let's bring it back to teaching again. Okay, hear me out. Okay, hear me out. So this is technically my last week of summer. However, I'm already getting the emails and things about, hey, welcome back to school. Here's all the stuff that you didn't do over the summer. But I did, however, go into school and I had to move out of my old classroom and move into my new classroom. So technically, if we look at my Apple Watch data, I worked a lot. I exercised so much. I had to move from the second floor of one building to the second floor of a new building.
Ooh, that's a lot. Did you have an elevator at least, or was that all stairs?
No elevator, all stairs. And I have like 100 books. I'm an English teacher, and I firmly believe the children need to read. However, none of my students for the past few years have ever had an interest to read my novels. So I'm lugging like 4 sets of Harry Potter books up and downstairs, and I'm like, no more. So I took all the books home. So after I lugged them both ways, I just said, you know what? Forget it. We're going to take them back home to my brand new home office because my husband lovingly built me so many bookshelves that I haven't even began to fill up with all of my books. But according to my Apple Watch, I did work out. You do need a house. Yeah, being a homeowner is
just
great.
For books.
Yep. I have places to put things now.
Okay, so we're glad you got your cross training done. Lots of quad work.
Okay, we'll call it that. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call it. Cross training. It's just me moving out of one classroom and into another and setting up all of my bulletin boards. I have so many bulletin boards this year, which is great because last year I had 0. But at the same time, I'm like, ugh, now I need to decorate these things. And it takes so long to do a bulletin board. So that was my cross training for the week.
If you ever need a camaraderie for imperfect training, wear it.
And then yesterday I took the kids to the pool to celebrate like my last day of summer. Not for them. They've switched school districts. So sadly, we're not on the same calendar anymore. But their school doesn't start until the 14th. And I have to report to school on Monday, August 5th. It's disgusting.
It's so early. I swear
it's
we didn't start until like the 3rd. Like it was in the 20s. It was always in the 20s. I think maybe late teens, but it was the second half of August.
When I went to high school, I switched from going to Catholic elementary school, middle school to a public high school. And the public school district that I lived in started early than the Catholic school that I went to previously. So in high school, I was like, ew, this is disgusting. My first day of school is August 17th. Ugh, I don't like this. And now I'm like, my first day of school is August 5th. This is gross.
All right, Natalie. How's your training going?
Oh, she's going. Pretty uneventful training week overall. Did some things.
Natalie's just following all the rules. Natalie's being the golden child, doing all of her work.
The most compliant runner of all of
Yeah,
us.
I bring strong middle child energy to this. And
She is technically doing different distances than what our coach is recommending. So she is sort of rebelling a little bit.
So I'm following Galloway. So if you just are listening to this now, we completed week 5. Our long run for that is 3 miles. And you do your 45 minutes on Tuesday, Thursday. So our coach has us a little bit higher in mileage. I am kind of sticking to Galloway for a couple reasons. I was sick at the end of June. So that whole like 7-8 mile range, I completely missed that. And kind of just made an executive decision to keep the miles a little lower and more conservative for now, just noting that it's a long way a ways away, where on the day that this releases, we are about 5 months away, 5 months and change away from marathon weekend. So I want to make sure I'm pacing myself appropriately with that, and just with respect to, my first race this fall is Wine and Dine. So that's in November. Don't really need to be at 10 miles quite yet, IMO, unless I were doing a fall half, another fall half, I should say, like a local fall half, which I'm not. And I'm not thinking about it. Okay. Always the temptation of the local one. So I'm keeping things kind of nice and low and slow for a little bit. Just making sure, everything is feeling good. I don't over index myself, and I'm not running beyond my fitness, because it'll be a nice long journey to those longer runs later if I do that. But kind of exciting to see all the strength training workouts and such change now that we're in August. I'm sure
I'm also excited for that.
my butt is in for, and my glutes and my arms and just all my different major muscle groups are in for just such a surprise this upcoming week. A cry for help sometimes, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I kind of previewed what the new sets are going to look
Brave.
like, and I personally like them better than the ones we were doing. But I'm a little excited about that. I did all my runs this week. Obviously haven't done my long run yet because I'm doing it tomorrow. I had my Tuesday run, uneventful, 3 easy, no big deal, strides, love them. Had my below deck to keep me company. But then on Thursday, when I was doing 5 miles as a volume build, no speed, I was doing pretty good until like the last quarter mile, and my big toe started burning, and I was like, ugh, it's back. So I got my first blister of marathon training. I know.
Oh, rip.
Very exciting. I'm sure everyone's like super stoked about that. And it's making me apprehensive for the long run tomorrow, because I'm supposed to do 10 miles, like Natalie said, and I'm a little bit scared to do it because I know it's going to hurt, but I can't decide if it'll hurt worse if I pop it or if I don't. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But we'll be doing that tomorrow. Like, we planned our food because, as something we're going to talk about, like running in the heat, it's really hot, and like being prepared. This is the first, like, for me, we sort of talked about in the past, like 10K is kind of like long for me, and we did like a 7-8 2 weeks ago, but this week with 10, like Ben and I both agreed, like, this is like the longest run we've done in a really long time. So we have food planned for like before. We've got our fuel planned, and then we pre-made food for afterwards so that we don't have to like think or anything. All we have to do is put it in a bowl and stick it in the microwave. So hopefully we don't end up with any like runner's flu symptoms or anything like we did the very first time we ever did a long run for last marathon cycle. We didn't know any better. It was not a pleasant experience. We were like sick all day. We were so tired. Couldn't get off the couch, like dizzy. Felt like I was going to puke nonstop. So, make those plans.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. So excited and not terrified. I know I can do the distance. The distance isn't the scary part. It's the fact that like this is the first one that might be painful, not just mentally, but like physically might hurt, which I think is important to also like not shy away from, because that might happen in the race and you want to like, not that I'm trying to like hurt myself, but trying to train for everything.
Do you sing to yourself the Hercules song, I Can Go the Distance?
I do, but it's also on my playlist. So if I really need that extra boost, I will just put it on repeat.
Mine too.
I listen to like basically only Disney music when I run. It's either, well, that's not true. So I have a Disney hits playlist that's like all my favorites from all the movies. And then I have the exact opposite of Disney, which is pop punk emo music that's screaming at me. So we've got both ends of the spectrum depending on how I feel.
I was going to say I need more of the pop punk emo music when I run.
Yeah. A lot of like
which
Sum
was something
41 is going on.
We forgot to talk about that the last time when we did that Our Favorite Things episode. I was like, oh, why didn't we talk about like our favorite music? But it's all right. It's all good.
I'm sure we'll have another round of favorites before the end.
Nice. Another thing with training is that suddenly I just had to watch the kids that I nanny for the past like 24 hours. So that also threw a wrench into today's Saturday. So I didn't get to do the Galloway training because I was with them. So I think what was today supposed to be 5.5 miles?
Today's 3.
Oh, just 3? Was it last week that was 5.5? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Ben's following my boyfriend. He's following Galloway. And he went ahead and did 6 with me last weekend instead of the 5.5, just so, because otherwise he was just going to be like waiting around.
Got it. Yeah. Since I'm starting school on Monday and they are not going to school for the whole week, instead of freaking out and being like, who's going to watch the girls for over a week and a half, they went to their grandparents' house and I drove them there. But I jokingly asked the mom yesterday on Friday when I got to their house, I said, oh, should I just have them sleep over at my house tonight before they go to grandma and grandpa's house? And I thought she'd say no, but she actually said yes. So when I picked them up on Friday morning, they were literally with me all the way up until 2:00 p.m. today on Saturday.
Aww.
So it's been a
Slumber
lot.
party.
Yeah. And we didn't even get to do anything super fun like go to Disney. So
got to keep expectations.
Right. Yeah. The 13-year-old finally, it's got to be bad when a kid even says that your car is too messy. And so she finally was like, your car is disgusting, but it's our fault. No, it's their fault. She said, I know it's all of our stuff. And so we owe you a car wash. And so we went to the car wash together and we were there for over an hour vacuuming out my disgusting car. So that was all we did besides going to the pool and moving my classroom. And yeah, they cleaned out my car. But the younger one accidentally vacuumed up one of my exercise bands from physical therapy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. So if my physical therapist is listening to this, I bet he's going to be like, that's why I gave her 2. Because the kids got it. So,
That's great. I
oops.
think you can if
Yep.
you ever lose the other one or something, I think you can order like rolls of that stuff on
I
Amazon.
was gonna say, I was literally gonna look on Amazon today and try to find some exercise bands.
All right, let's cover dates and registrations. All right, so we are 30 days out from the Disneyland Halloween half marathon. I got it this week. 86 days until Wine and Dine. So exciting. I will never stop being exciting.
Woo!
155 days until Marathon Weekend 2025. We're getting there, guys. 177 days until Disneyland Half Marathon 2025. Proof of time deadline is August 1st. So that has already passed by this point. So if you didn't get it in, I don't know what your options are. Probably nothing.
Yeah, you're stuck with whatever you had put in at registration. So
Yeah.
hopefully it was something good. If you get a registration, and I wanted to cover this after the proof of time deadline. So say you get a registration August 10th, where it one of those random reopenings, you can put in your proof of time. You just are stuck. You can't go back and edit it because you have to put something in to check out. So you have to put your either range for 5K, 10K, or what your proof of time is for a half marathon, but you are stuck with that. So there's kind of no take backsies. So just keep that in mind. If you have a later registration, you're not going to be able to go back and edit it if the proof of time deadline has passed. But it's not like you have absolutely no option to do it. You just have to be quick.
Yeah. And I have heard, it's again not guaranteed, but I have heard that there are slight possibilities of being moved corrals if you go during the expo and are nice. It's not guaranteed, but it's also not unheard of. So
usually that's if they mess it up, though. I want to just be clear in that if they mess it up where you had a link, it's within the parameters, it's within the dates, where usually that's the situation in which they will plug in your time into the Macmillan supposedly calculator and go, oh yeah, and give you the B sticker or the C sticker that you deserve. Usually if it's somewhat sparing sometimes though. So your A plan should be putting it in correctly the first time, but it's something where say the link glitches out or for some reason they don't see your name on the link, or honestly something that I'm going to eventually come across is if my POT is in my maiden name and once I change my name, I haven't done that yet legally, and how to handle that because I'm going to leave. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure out how I'm going to handle that. And I anticipate probably some chats with guest relations after that. Don't know if I'm actually going to get that done before marathon weekend though. So we're probably going to be good.
All right, and then we've got 198 days until Princess Weekend 2025 with a proof of time deadline of September 1st, 2024. 240 days until Springtime Surprise Weekend 2025. General registration is 3 weeks away if you're listening to this on the day we drop. And then proof of time for that race is October 1st, 2024. For Club Run Disney, registration opened if you were for general registration on the 1st. So last week now, if you're listening. And there is pending availability. Natalie, have you checked on it? Is there still availability?
I believe there's still,
or was there? Well, as of recording.
Yes, I believe that Gold did open for general public on the day that on August 1st. It sold out quickly, so whatever is left is silver. So a lot of people will buy into silver for a very expensive jacket, but it's really for the opportunity to upgrade to gold before general comes around next year. You get the jacket, which is actually pretty nice. You get the virtual 10K. You get little insignia on your bib to say you're part of Club Run Disney, but you don't get the advanced registration and that's other benefits of it. But I did hear people were able to get gold during general. Platinum was gone, but platinum was gone in the first 10 or so minutes that gold could upgrade. So that wasn't super surprising. I would have been more surprised if they held back more platinum. And that is the end of the Club Run Disney correspondence.
All right, on to Disney news. We've got Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That starts on Friday, August 9th, so a few more days. And if you want to see photos or descriptions or any of that, that's all on the Disney Parks blog and just about every Disney blog that's not associated with Disney as well. Everyone's got information on it at this point. There are 43 new food and drink menu items specifically for the party, including one at Cinderella's royal table. Natalie, do you have any other details on that? Or Caitlin?
It's Halloween, baby. The Boo to Yous are
I'm so
going to
excited.
be like coursing through the Magic Kingdom once more. Although I don't know, are any of us going to Mickey's Not So Scary?
Not unless we get, because I haven't looked on the status of like the dates that are closest to Halloween.
Halloween is
Because the
sold
last
out.
party is actually, yeah. So I don't think so. I don't have any plans. Although Ben's mom is tentatively maybe going before then. So if she does follow through with that, I might ask to again sleep on her floor and just drive down there or something. But probably not. I really want
Yeah,
to
as
though
of
because
right
I've never
now.
been.
Oh, you should go because it is really fun. As of right now, I don't have any plans to go, but who knows? That might change because I might randomly be like, I have an annual pass. But see
Are you
that
not going when
the
you go with
annual
your
pass
friend in
holders.
September?
Oh, I don't know. But like, I have the annual pass, but that's not going to get me into after hours or other special ticketed parties. So part of me is reluctant to pay extra money to get into a Disney park, even though I have the highest tier annual pass that gets me in on a regular day with no blackout dates. So
That's fair.
Yeah. And you could
I don't
still
know.
see the decorations and everything during the day. So
True. But the party is really fun and they do change a lot of things. Like they do the overlays for the rides only during the parties. Like you can't go to Space Mountain during the day and have the Halloween overlay. You'd have to see that at the
Yep.
party, which it is really fun.
okay.
Yeah. I don't fully have plans to do it. I was thinking about doing it because since it's on Halloween, the final party, it then would bleed into the 5K. Like I wouldn't go to bed. I
Mm-hmm.
would just go to the 5K. And yeah, so yeah, the
No.
whole thing is that I had to think about that and like whether or not that was a terrible idea. And like I know it's a terrible idea, but um and then it sold
I'd
out.
do it.
But people end
Yeah.
up selling their tickets, and it's kind of not the most. I wouldn't say not the most kosher way, but
It's not allowed.
well, you're allowed to transfer an
Tech-
unused ticket. It's just that you can't black market it for like $700.
Technically, I don't think party tickets are transferable.
Oh, well.
Hmm.
So someone I know,
we'll fact check.
someone I know, and they did it completely. But they wasn't like I'm going to sell it for $700. It was just I decided to go a different night, and it was somebody who I think the whole family got tickets. Dad wasn't supposed to be there that night, and then he like got the extra day off work. So the person I know ended up just they became friends on my Disney experience. They transferred the ticket, and then she paid just cost. So it's not. I am not at all advocating for buying Halloween tickets and selling them up at $300. At all. People got busted for Boogie Boogie Bash last year at Disneyland, where they were upselling them and then getting APs revoked as they should, because that's you don't mess with the mouse, Kay. But that would be my option. And then I was considering tagging along on a September trip that's like around mid-September. That I know a lot of people will be in town, like a lot of the monorail group for like the Dillos meetup. But I am kind of faltering a little bit on that, just whether or not I'm going to do that long weekend. It's when my busy season is, so whether or not I can get that time away, as well as it's my life without as much travel for a minute has been good. So adding in like optional travel is, I don't know, it is for Disney, so
a little painful.
it's a little painful. Just the constant back and forth to Chicago for wedding stuff all spring was difficult, and it's slowing down. And I'm thankful for that, but it's been kind of nice to not do that. And it's like, okay, like how bad do you need to go to not so scary? And it's just which part of my brain is going to win. All right, let's talk about the like official Olympics, and then we'll talk about our Olympics, which is all kinds of Run Disney news, etc. So, we were chatting before we hit record a little bit about some of the stuff we've been individually following. But how have your
We may have had to wait for a race to be over to start.
Yes, we had to watch the women's 100-meter finals on the track too, because otherwise I was just gonna probably squeak at the mic anyway. So had to do that. But track is just really heating up and getting started. By the time that you guys hear this, you'll know more than we do about who has won what heats, who has won what races. Because we sitting here in the past have only seen up until the second day of the Olympics for track. The men's 10,000 was yesterday our time, so on Friday. That was a very exciting race. First medal for the United States in Grant Fisher in the 10,000. It was an incredible race. He hung in there the whole time and really pushed it to the finish to hang on to his bronze. Almost outstepped silver for silver, but exciting race to watch. I was yelling at the screen like, go! as I sit in my chair at home. What have you guys been watching?
I mean, I've just been watching like anything that's on, and I'm getting like really random sports too. Like I watched handball and boxing, which was really interesting. But last night in prime time, we were watching diving, which was really entertaining to watch. I love watching dive, but I love it and hate it. As a lifeguard, former lifeguard,
we all
I
have the
was
same.
Never ever a fan of watching diving as a lifeguard because I was always on the edge of my seat like, oh my God, are they going to hit their head? I was always thinking to myself, all right, I know how to do a spinal. I know how all the steps, how to get them out of the water.
I could still probably do
I
a
always
spinal.
just watch the coach because the coach
Literally,
knows.
though.
So
yes, but we're watching a lot of diving, that was such a bummer. The United States in the men's 3-meter springboard synchronized diving, the Americans got fourth, which was a really crushing loss. I know. And they did so well, too. Like, they messed up their first dive, and then that was, like, mentally they were just gone, I think. That's just what the commentators were saying, that, like, they couldn't come back from that first mess up. And so that was just crushing to watch. But then we also watched a lot of gymnastics, obviously. The girls are crushing it, yes. I love them. I love listening and watching their stories. It's just so interesting to learn more about like Jade Carey. She's so great. I love her. And obviously Jordan Childs and Suni Lee. I mean, obviously Simone Biles is amazing, but like the other girls are great too. And Hensley, she's so cute. Love all of them.
I think the funniest part about
Yeah.
all of that, right? Because you're talking about like all the other members of the team. Whenever they present the women's gymnastics team, at least like for us in the US watching on Peacock or on NBC, is they always say Simone and Team USA. And I'm like, all right, well, we understand that Simone is the GOAT, but like, come on.
They have so many other stories though.
Yeah.
Like
But
Jade Carey
they're her backup
is doing
dancers,
so good.
And that's not fair.
No, you can't call them that. But like Jade Carey has had to overcome a whole lot of like mental things, and then she's not been feeling well. Like she had like the flu or something. She couldn't eat, she couldn't drink, like she couldn't keep anything down, and she's still able to perform at that level. Like people are forgetting all of that.
They had to swap her out for one of the team elements.
I know. I felt really bad. But like Suni Lee, she had to step up a lot. And she's doing really great, even though a year ago she was diagnosed with 2 different kidney diseases. That's insane. So I just really feel for them. That, and then Jordan Childs, I feel like she really got a disservice because she was the third to qualify for the women's individual all around, but she wasn't able to go because that stupid 2-country rule. So it's kind of disappointing, but like Jordan Childs is doing really great. And then it's also really fun too to watch their social media, which is adorable because Suni and Simone were planning what TikTok they wanted to do after they won their gold medals. Like that was so cute.
I've been seeing people do like videos that are like lip reading of those scenes of like them talking and saying what they're saying because you can't hear it on the stream,
Right.
but
When they're standing
those
on
are
the
really funny.
podium.
Yeah.
Those are cute. I know. I'm so proud of them. Like, it's so weird. And then Simone is over here. She's saying how she's 27 and she's a grandma. That
I mean,
she's not
compared to
making me
everyone
feel
else
better.
who's like 17 in the sport, but I like it because I feel like for the longest time it felt like they were pushing gymnastics onto like it was all these really young women who are like and they're pushing themselves and hurting their bodies, and I do like how Simone is showing that like if you treat your body well and treat yourself well and take time like do what you need to do, like she's still doing it at 27. She's probably still going to be doing it well past now. Like she's so good.
Yeah.
And
This
I
might be
like
her
that.
last Olympics, though.
It
I
might
think
be.
that's what she was
But it might
saying.
not be.
But like if
Well,
that's what
just
she
because she
wants,
was-
then that's good for her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I fully support whatever Simone wants to do. But she was talking about her competitor, Rebecca Andrade, and she was saying how she was so tired and she doesn't want to compete against Rebecca anymore. And I was like, yeah, I
She's
feel
so
that.
good. She's also a little bit older in the gymnastics sense where she's 25. So we're skewing older because they're taking better care of the gymnasts. And that's really gratifying to see that our 16-year-old on the Olympic on the women's team was out of place in the way that she was a lot younger than everyone else. So I think it's good and healthier, I think,
Right.
for them to be better taken care
Yes.
of.
I remember watching as a kid and seeing like especially the Chinese athletes and the Russian athletes and thinking
They're
I was
so
like
young.
they look, I mean, granted they're all short because I think that's like an advantage in the sport, but they all
They're
look
like
young.
14.
Yeah, I was like they don't look
They're
old
so
enough
tiny.
for this to be allowed.
Well, because back in 2008, when Shawn Johnson was on the team, and I still follow Shawn Johnson's social medias. I
Me
love her. I
too.
think she's fantastic. Oh, she's amazing. Her and her husband, Andrew, they seem so cute. They're so wholesome and pure. I love them. But Shawn Johnson was 16 in 2008, and she was the quote unquote leader of the group. And now Hensley is also 16, and people are like, she's a baby. She's too young. She's not going to know what she's doing. Why are we sending a 16-year-old? Well, we used to do that all the time. Like somebody pointed out one year they had like all teenagers. Like the oldest person on the team was like 19 maybe. And she was the quote unquote veteran at like 18 or 19 years old.
Just nuts. It was funny. There was an interview Simone did where she's like, Hesley's so young, you know, do we need to teach her how to drive or something? I don't know if she, like, it was so funny where like, and then her being a little bit of the newcomer to the team where the rest were all in Tokyo. And she's like, we're going to take care of her. She's like, do we need to teach her to drive? So funny. It's been such a joy to watch and just watching her come out on top. And if this is her last, then she's coming out the way she wants to. And with, I don't know, you guys as the listeners know more than we do about how uneven bars, beam, and floor finals go. So we will.
Oh, as a former lifeguard, like watching gymnastics also makes me really nervous. But at least I know that if they were gonna fall, hopefully they're not gonna fall into water. And then, like, oh god, I can't watch the diving at all. But yeah.
Really
Well,
stress.
my Olympic fascination has always been and will continue to be women's water polo. So I've been watching that.
I was gonna say.
Which is
Well,
aggressive and dangerous
you-
in its own way.
True that.
Totally. Ugh. But did you guys see the story about the swim team where they had some professor, what was it, University of Virginia? And there's this little cute physics professor there, and he's working with the swim team, and he basically strapped on these, like, he described them as being Fitbits. They're like heart rate monitors and something like that. He strapped them onto the swimmers' backs, and he had underwater cameras, and he can He can like track their heart rate, their breathing. He's counting how many strokes they're taking. And he's just looking at all these aerodynamic things like in physics. And he's helping them be more efficient in the water. And it is just the cutest thing. One of the swimmers,
It's like real life.
I
was
going to say that. Literally. Such a good movie too. But one of the swimmers she's a graduate student and she works with him, and so they all published a paper together, like research on this. It's like the physics of swimming, and so her name is on there. And then she was just competing last night. I think she was doing the 200 IM, and I think she got bronze. I think she medaled. I want to look this up now.
That's
Was
exciting.
it Alex Walsh?
No, I think it was Katie Douglas.
Oh, it was
but
Katie.
Okay. I'm gonna check.
Oh no. Alex Walsh got
Pause
DQ'd.
while we investigate.
Oh no, that's so brutal. And that was Alex Walsh's only race. Kate Douglas got silver. Alex Walsh originally got bronze, and then got DQ'd for a mid turn.
Did they say for what?
It was like a turn, which is brutal with the IM. Oh, that's brutal. Oh.
Well, for more inspirational news, we have in women's water polo, the women's team came out hot. They crushed Greece. And then they played Spain, and it was like they forgot what their sport was. It was bad. It was like a flip-flop. It was like they were Greece, kind of, is how that second game went. But that did not put them out of medal contention, because we're still in like they're in their round and they've won. They're going to move on. So then they played, who did we play next? Italy. And it was like they were back. They like crushed Italy. So we're fine. We're moving on to the next round. But my like exciting, which I thought was cool news about the women's water polo team is that they're sponsored by Flava Flav, and he's their hype person. Like, not just, he's going to all the games and he has his own like water polo cap that he's wearing in the stands. He's like fully blinged out. It's very cute to watch how excited he is in the stands. But he also signed a contract to officially sponsor the team for the next 5 years. Or I don't know when it started, but he signed a contract to sponsor them for 5 years because he has daughters and he's a big proponent of like supporting women's athletics, and the women's water polo team was underfunded. Like, a lot of the members of the team are professional athletes, but women's professional athletes don't get paid. We're not going to get into all of that, but like they don't get paid as much usually compared to male athletes, and they were having trouble with like being able to sustain the amount of time they need to get practice, to get all the equipment, to do all that, and he's committed to like doing that for them. So it's exciting to see how proud he is of them. And I'm proud because I played water polo. So.
Okay, I found the article as well. All right, so it was Kate Douglas. She's a graduate student at the University of Virginia. She's studying math, and her math professor, they published an article about the like efficiency of swimming, and Kate Douglas not only was co-authored that research study, but she also won a gold medal in the 200-meter breaststroke in Paris. So that's amazing. She won gold, and she helped research a huge paper, and it did a big study. So that's really awesome.
Education for the win.
Look at these women in STEM who are also athletes. That's amazing. Hannah's our resident woman in STEM.
Yes, I am, with my degree in engineering. I loved math, honestly, up until college. And then I really only loved math for the purpose of facilitating. I can hear the puppy.
Oh no, yeah.
It's okay.
My
We
dog
love
Boomer's
Boomer.
going crazy. Oh my gosh, Boomer. He jumped up on me earlier and then he muted my mic, thank goodness, because he started like barking. Ugh.
Guest spot.
But
Poor
yeah,
Boomer.
I just loved math. And then it's all about who you have as your professors and teachers, because I would say, less than stellar professors for that in college. But it helped me get through engineering. So that's what matters. Helped me get to paper. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Yeah. My reaction to math ever since high school now is just ew.
Yeah, fair.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
All right. Any other Olympic news you guys want to talk about?
I don't think so. I'm ready to talk about our Olympics.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh, I know. Basically, the hardest part of a Run Disney race is not the actual running part, it's the registration part.
It's peak stressful, for sure.
So
I
stressful. And I
got.
don't even know why. Like, this time around, sorry, I didn't mean to
You've never
interrupt,
been
but this
picked,
time
that's
around,
why.
no, but like, okay, fine.
Pick
All
me,
right.
choose me, love
Maybe
me.
one of these days, maybe the Run Disney gods will look down upon me and they will choose me as the designated registration person. But I mean, I was in the queue, and then I thank you for signing me up, and Austin. We got Austin a registration. So that there we go. There's our official breaking news. Austin will be participating, or at least, oh my god, I paid the money for it. So maybe I just ate $114. But Austin will hopefully be in a Red Disney race. He is now registered for it. But so yeah, we were in the queue and mine just kept saying over an hour, more than an hour, more than an hour. And Hannah was like, "Oh, mine says 28 more minutes left." And I'm like, "How?" But so well, I stayed in the queue, and not much longer until after you signed us up and I got the text message from my Discover card saying, "Hey, did you make this insanely massive purchase?" Um, I got in, I saw the Run Disney website, so that was cool. And literally, everything was available except for the standalone 10K. And I kind of wanted Austin to do the 10K, but he's happy now. He's like, "Oh, see, look, it got all signed up for and it's all gone. So now I have to do the 5K." So, and which that brings me into another thing. I have to do all freaking 3 events that weekend, like a
I mean, you
mini
don't
dopey.
have to. You could,
I'm not. I
nope
literally
out.
just paid like $600. Like, if you're my mom, no, I didn't pay over $600. You did not hear that. But or more importantly, my dad. I think my mom would kind of understand a Disney thing because she made me this way. But if you're my dad listening to this, I don't even think he would listen to this. But if you're my dad, no, I did not just pay over $600. If you're the people that I nanny for, no, I did not just pay like almost a week's worth of pay to go run a race, 3 races. No, I didn't do that.
I don't know her.
But yeah, who's she? Literally, 9th grader Caitlin would be like, "Are you crazy? What did you do? What did you do to us? Why are we doing this?"
But you're saying it was less crazy because less stuff sold out while we were
it
in
was
the queue,
so
right?
much way less crazier. I don't know, but I got in. There was the 5K, like standalone 5K, standalone half marathon. The challenge was available and the yoga was available. Then hours later, I looked at the Run Disney website again that evening. Yoga was still available. All the running was sold out, but yoga was still there. So maybe the location change doesn't really matter for people and they don't care to do yoga at Hollywood Studios. I don't know. But and then also looking at Facebook recently, when the themes were dropped for Springtime Surprise, and the majority of those comments were like, "Wow, thank you, Disney, for saving me money. I'm not about to sign up for this." So I think in 3 weeks from now, I could probably just sign myself up if I decide that I'm going to go do Springtime Surprise. I don't think there would be a problem because a lot of people are not wanting to register. Is this like a new trend because of all the things that Universal is coming out with? And like there's just like there's so much talk about Disney getting worse and people not wanting to join, and then even people talking last Princess,
But I
people
feel
were
like
saying
that's
this is their last Disney race for a while because they think that the quality is not improving, but the prices are increasing.
Oh boy, that's a lot to unpack. Whew.
I
Like, that
also
could be a whole
Yeah.
episode in itself.
it could. I also feel like you only ever hear when people are upset. Like people don't generally like rave about how excited they are to
Yeah, the
like
people who are upset are always going to be the loudest.
yeah. So that doesn't help.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Springtime on one hand it's always tough of year with timing of, and it was this way with Star Wars also, where Star Wars didn't sell out quite as fast back in the day. So that was because I remember at Princess, Star Wars was still open when I was at Princess in 2020. Obviously it got canceled, but because of the big Coco.
Rip. I was supposed to do
But
that
I remember
race.
looking, I was like, wow, it's still available for 6 weeks from now. And it was the challenge, and I think the half, or maybe it was the half alone. I don't remember at that point. I just remember there being a half marathon in that discussion. I was like, I do not think in 6 weeks a half marathon is happening for me. I know how things
Yeah, I was
change.
registered for that standalone
But the
half.
time of year with that is always difficult with spring breaks, etc. Because they plan it. And the reason why Springtime Surprise kind of rotates is that they're avoiding Easter weeks. They're trying to, like, whatever the lull in I almost said Thanksgiving, in spring breaks are, whatever the lull is, that's where they put it. Where the first year it was around this time, where it was actually started March 31st, 2022, and that was the weekend. And then the last 2 years, it's been later in April. And then this year it's back to being earlier in April. And it depends on when like American Easter has fallen, and like kind of the really like the off week in between spring breaks, because a lot of just the scheduling and whatnot. So that's tough. A lot of APs are also blocked out during, not us, but a lot of APs are also blocked out during this time. So it's something that they can't really control, or not nearly can't really control. That's not at all what I wanted to say. It's something where people are like, okay, well, if I can't get into the park until Sunday of the week, like, do I want to do the whole race weekend? So springtime ends up as like, well, the very first springtime, first year back after COVID. And also like a lot of the retro themes that did go nice and quick. I remember the challenge at least, but I remember other races stayed open. Then some people don't like the 10-mile distance and they think that that's not worth traveling for. I, on the other hand, have
Oh, I loved the
never
10
gotten to
mile.
mile 10 of a half marathon and gone, gee, Skippy D, I'm so happy I have another 5K to do. Usually it's up the on ramp. It's up the on ramp and that's banked, and I'm like, I got another 5K to do. Great.
Yep. That's what I was thinking during Princess when we were at the half marathon, and I was like, oh my god, I'm at mile 10. And they gave me the whatever those jelly beans were, the fuel jelly beans.
Sport beans.
And I was like,
that's Ben's
yeah,
favorite.
and I was like, man, oh, they were really good, and they really helped me because I was like, I was running out of gas, and I'm like, man, if this was the 10-miler, I could have been done.
Yeah.
I really like it because I feel like it's, it's just barely past the 15K. So you do 10, you do 15. It's a nice distance for someone who like maybe doesn't think they're quite ready for the half.
Yeah, I agree. Also, like, I feel like
It was
easier
really
to
nice,
PR.
yeah, because I had done a couple of 10Ks, and I did a 10K the previous day, and then I was like, oh, this is nice. I like it. It's not as far as a half, but it's a little bit more of a challenge than a 10K. It was a really great happy medium, and I think I might be a distance person because I did distance swimming in high school. So I've just been gravitating towards these longer events. And I was kind of thinking that this Run Disney race season, I was only going to be doing the longest of the events because Wine and Dine, I'm only, not to say only like to short it or whatever, but I'm only signed up for the half. And then Marathon Weekend, I am only signed up for the marathon. And so I kind of wanted to go into Princess and be like, yeah, I'm only going to sign up for the half. But no,
a year of
that did not happen.
standalones, except I messed it up.
Yeah, a year of standalone longest distance. And I was like, I could do the springtime surprise 10-miler, but that springtime it lines up perfectly with my school district spring break. So now I see the pattern. My school district does not care about Easter, so which is good. So that's nice. It's only the first week of April. It doesn't matter when Easter is. So Disney decided they were going to do the expo on that Thursday of my spring break. And I was like, man, I could be in Disney and not have to take any time off or make any excuses. But my annual pass will expire. So Austin thinks I'm about to renew. I think some other personal things in life will have to happen for me to not renew. Or to renew, actually. So,
but registration went really well for us. It took me like, I was just checking our text chat to see like when I started getting in, and I got into the queue like somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes into registration, and I was completely done filling everything out by 10:43 because that's when I sent a picture of like our registrations of like you're in. So it went like super well. I was the chosen one this year, which was so stressful.
Tell me about it.
I don't understand. Natalie does it for always. It's always
know.
been the chosen one. And it was, you know what? It was the universe spiting me because last week in the pod, I said that I wasn't nervous because I was more worried about how much it was going to cost. And I think because I was thinking that Natalie would probably be chosen again, that I wasn't nervous about it. And then I suddenly, as like we actually had to like pull up the web page and like sign in to runDisney, it all hit me and I was like, oh God, it's going to be me this time. And then it was. And it was just, I mean, I felt super prepared. It went way smoother than I thought it was going to be. I had our Excel spreadsheet with all of our like info, so it was a like easy copy paste for everyone. I was just still stressed the whole time because I wanted to make sure that we got what we wanted, and because Austin was going to be in the 5K, and then we were like still deciding up until the last minute like what arrangement we were going to do for you, Caitlin, to facilitate all of that. I was just like, what if it sells out? What if it sells out? And luckily it didn't, because it was nice and quick, and it was basically nothing had sold out by the time I did it. It sold out after that, but
which was super surprising.
Yeah.
I was telling Austin, because he's like, I'm only going to do this if I can do the 5K. And I was like, well, you know, historically, like the 5K is the first thing to go, because a lot of people coming to runDisney, they're very new to runDisney, or they're just new to running in general. And so the 5K is the shortest, it's the cheapest. That one typically sells out first. So I was like, I don't think that we're going to get into the 5K. And then, of course, we did. And so I'm like, well, and I was even texting him too that morning. And I was like, do you just want to run with Natalie? Like, or do you want to run with me too? I mean, I totally would have. I trust Natalie. I think she could take care of Austin if there were any sort of like flashing lights or anything. And Natalie's very focused on running. So you guys probably would have missed all of the photo pass opportunities.
So, not in the 5K.
Oh, well, true, because that one's not timed.
I would not. Austin would not get the classic
5K is the leisure.
Yeah, I will like run ahead, but I run ahead to get into the character line, and then be like, okay, like Smee is like 20 minutes, or like Prince Eric 20 minutes.
Ooh, that's a rare character. Oh wow, I haven't met Prince Eric since they stopped doing that character dining at, what was that place on the boardwalk? What was that? Yes, throwback. Wow.
Yep. So, whoa. The back of the head special is reserved for the half and the full, where you just see the back of my head and then you never to be seen again. That's how that goes.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, so my husband, his least favorite part of wedding planning, not to bring this back to wedding planning, but the only thing that he was like, we could skip that vendor, was the photographer.
Sure.
He was like, he's like, there's no need to remember our wedding day. We don't need to have photo evidence of anything. He hates getting his picture taken. So, since he can't do the 10K, maybe we'll make him do the untimed 5K, and then we'll make him stop at every single photo pass opportunity, and he has to smile at everything. He hates getting his photo taken. And then luckily our wedding photographer was phenomenal, and he had a great time, and she made him relax, and he liked being photographed for that. But ever since, he's like, no, get that out of my face. Like, he didn't want any other pictures. I mean, he had like 3,000 pictures of himself taken in like the span of 5 hours. So I kind of can't really ask him to take any more pictures for a while. But 2025 Princess, I'll be like, all right, your grace period of wedding photo torture is over. Now it's back to being you're back to being photographed.
Them's the rules. I found out something the hard way during this registration, but it actually was a positive. So I was in charge of getting somebody else's registration, not in this circle. And I learned that if your computer crashes at 9:47 in the morning and it takes you a good couple of minutes to get yourself back up and running, it'll remember that you had been chosen during that period of time. I was shocked that I got back in. I restarted my computer, got back. Like I had like it wasn't the blue screen of death, but I had the completely. It was 9:47. It was stuck on 9:47 for a while. I'm in Central Time, so 10:47. Yeah, it will remember you. But I actually had another friend where kind of bail me out there where I had told her, I was like, if you can get one, get the 10K. And or I think I had told her 5K first, actually. And she got both of them for that person, the person I was in charge of. And I was like, oh, can you go back? And she's like, oh, no, I got them both at once. I'm like, oh, you're a gem. So I figured I'm always willing to help other people out. So I can always accept the help, once in a while. Where I felt bad in a way where I was like, oh, like I'm inconveniencing someone else. Like, oh, you literally every single time are like, hey, like, who needs something? Do you need help? Especially just in just different circles. So this time was about accepting the help, and then I just Venmoed my friend back.
It's important to accept help. It's important to do that.
So yeah, that was something I learned, and I hope I never have to learn again. Because I hadn't gone yet. It was about 5 to 10 minutes to go when my computer crashed. And I wasn't expecting to reopen Chrome and be able to get in. But at that point, it was also not a non-entity. So the other person had their, that I was responsible for, had their stuff together or had the registration in. So we've touched on springtime a little bit before. But let's talk about the themes themselves, because in the middle of the women's all-around gymnastics final, they dropped the springtime themes. I'm sitting here like,
how dare they?
How dare Disney not respect women's gymnastics?
I mean, like, it was kind of a respect in a way. Like, it was like a little bit of both, where I was waiting to like scroll and doom scroll and wait for the U.S. women to get to their next rotation. I was like, wait, what? I'm like holding onto my chair like I'm Allie Raisman's parents watching all the gymnasts. Like, I'm so nervous as I'm sitting here again in Omaha in my chair. But let's talk themes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm not really nervous to register for this in 3 weeks from today. If you're listening to this the day that the episode drops, I don't think we need to really rely on each other this time around.
Hold on a second.
That is bold. I'm not doing that.
I think it'll be okay.
I expect the group chat to be popping.
Hey, I got into the Princess registration over an hour after it dropped. I'm in Eastern time. It dropped at 10. I couldn't get in until like 11:08 a.m., something like that. And all but the standalone 10K was available. I was like, why am I stressed out? Everything was fine. And now with these themes, people are saying they don't really want to run. So, which, I mean, the themes are fine, and like I get it. I just kind of feel like they haphazardly chose something, and they just were like, heroes.
See, that's
random.
Kind of the point of springtime, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is like the point of springtime is to be haphazard, random, etc. So
yeah, but okay. So 2023, the year that I didn't do springtime surprise, the themes were Pixar, And I'm still kicking myself for not doing that. That Toy Story 10 miler.
That's my race.
The medal. I know. And it was, oh, I said I know again.
Drink.
Sorry. But
We're going to make stickers. Oh.
no, I like Natalie's better.
Water.
But yeah, that 10 miler medal was so cute. But I didn't run and it didn't line up with my spring break. So like I couldn't. But this year I'm like, I don't know if I'm really excited about it. Like Groot is
All right, let's
cute.
say what they are first.
Groot is
Yeah,
buff.
well, let's say what they are
Okay.
before we start debriefing.
Okay, the 5K is Groot. The 10K is Hercules, which I really like that one too.
Hercules.
Right? Like, yeah, that's just the epitome of Run Disney. When you think of Run Disney, you think of the song I Can Go the Distance. So that one is really fitting. The 10 miler is Mrs. Incredible. So, like, girl power. I love it. It's very cute. And then the challenge is Baymax. And we all love Baymax to some extent. So that's great. But he's
I
your.
love Baymax.
Sure, he's your home care, healthcare hero. So, do those really all go together?
I kind of.
Like, I understand, sort of. I don't know.
I'm of two minds.
I like them.
I do too.
Obviously, Disney can't just be like, we're doing a Marvel race in Florida because contractually they are not allowed to use any of the Marvel characters with the exception of Guardians. They can use Guardians of the Galaxy on this coast, the East Coast in Florida, which is why we have Cosmic Rewind. But Universal still has theme park rights and other rights, so they can have Avengers Campus over in California, but we can't have anything over here in Florida. So obviously we can't have really cool Marvel-themed races, so that's why they gave us Groot, I guess. I don't know.
I'm of a couple minds about this. I like them, first of all. I'm probably the most excited actually about both Groot and Hercules. I still haven't seen
Right. I'm
Big
excited
Hero
about
6,
Hercules.
but I will rectify that.
Oh,
We should have
it's
a
a
watch
good
party.
movie.
Should.
we
I know I'm
should.
missing out on that
I
one, so I
cried.
know I need to.
That's how you know it's good, when I cried during the movie.
True.
So I love
So-
it. I love Big Hero 6. I've met Baymax when he was a character in the park. That was also really great too.
What I do think is a little haphazard with it is that, and this was kind of pointed out, is that when the Disneyland half, not Halloween, so the half that's in January into February, was announced, and they had like a Safari Mickey for the half, and then it's Dumbo Double there. That's the theme that feels out of place on the West Coast. There's no Animal Kingdom on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Now we have for the challenge, we have Baymax, and there's a San Francisco in California Adventure. So it's kind of funny that it feels like those should be a little
Yeah.
flippy flop. I don't dislike it though, because
Totally.
I think it's an underutilized property in a lot of ways. And also, like, when you get the medal and they like put it on you, like, you kind of don't care anymore about like, oh yeah, I don't really like that princess. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, look at my medal, it's awesome. You know, like, it's kind of I kind of like the overarching heroes theme. I do like it because I like it.
But it almost just feels kind of haphazard because we've got a Marvel character. We have an animated Disney character from, the early 90s. I forgot to fact check when was Hercules released. And then we also have a Pixar character. And then we have another very underutilized Walt Disney Studios character from 2013 who was just overshadowed by Frozen.
I think this is going to leave a lot of good character stops, though, because actually, and this is kind of a hot take about Pixar in 2023, is that I felt like they actually underutilized what their Pixar characters were, because they kind of locked into that theme where Bullseye was at the expo and was probably the best character interaction I've ever had. The friend was born to be friends with Bullseye. Let's just say that. But I felt like
I'm trying to picture, how does that work? Was Bullseye standing on his
he
hind
sure
legs?
was.
Okay, that would make more
and-
sense.
But I felt like they had Chef Mickey and like Chef like the characters you could see at Chef Mickey around. Well, was that the year of Chef Mickey? Maybe that was the year prior, or maybe it was in 22. But maybe that was the year they had like Dapper Goofy and Mickey and such. That actually might have been the Dapper year. But it kind of felt like they underutilized characters where I think a dip into Pixar, where we're going to have Mr. Incredible, Mrs. Incredible. I'm sure we're going to have Frozone, or the dip into Pixar, Edna the dip into Pixar, the dip into
Oh,
the
I need a picture with
90s, the
Edna.
dip into the 90s Disney themes, because we love that from Marathon Weekend in 23, the dip into Big Hero 6 and stuff. I think that leaves almost a wider avenue for cool character stops and whatnot, and not like or it widens the scope, because springtime is kind of the catch-all anyway in a lot of ways, where like they can do what they want. So, and it's also 10 million degrees and of humidity. Of the dew point is dew point.
That's another factor, I think. That's another factor and a reason why people aren't signing up for the April race, because when I did Springtime Surprise in 2022, the humidity was 95% at 5 a.m. It's disgusting out there.
Yeah, it definitely, like, I understand why they made Springtime Surprise the catch-all, because it leaves them open to, like, a lot of things. But at the same time, I feel like because of the way the weather could be in April in Florida, it also means for a lot of people that they need to knock it out of the park theme-wise in order for people to sign up. And I feel like maybe they forgot about that a little bit, because they just like every race sells out at some point, so they just feel like maybe resting on their laurels a little bit sometimes, of like, we can do whatever we want.
Ooh.
But I really like the themes. I really do. I'm actually least excited about Elastigirl. I like all the other
but
ones.
girl power.
I know, I'm not excited. She's just like the one I'm least excited about, because I'm really like into Groot, Hercules, and Baymax.
Well, sure. I think that's what my issue is. I like them all individually, but when you put the four of them together and say, this is a theme of heroes, I'm like, I don't really see how they all tie together as heroes, because they're heroes in their own way.
See,
I don't know. Maybe this is just like, this is the English teacher in me being like, thematically, these don't make sense.
For me, I don't think it matters, because for me, they've all like, it's always been presented to me as Springtime Surprise is the like mashup. So for me, it doesn't really matter that they don't go together.
Yeah, I think, I'm kind of mixed. As in, now what I'm curious about is if we look at all the different themes for all the races for this upcoming season, now we're done. The only thing we won't know, and we won't know for a while, is whatever the summer series, the summer virtuals for next year are. So let's count the virtuals that we know about for now. Like, if we're gonna rate on like cohesion.
I'm kind of bummed I didn't get those.
I do not need another medal.
I mean,
she says, having signed up for how many races? I don't need another medal.
Oh my gosh. I looked at it, and obviously there were so many spots open for registering, like way past the date that it dropped. But I mean, I run around in my neighborhood and I'm like, why would anybody want to pay money for a virtual race?
That's how I felt. That's why I didn't do it. I loved the snack theme. Yeah.
The snack theme was fantastic, and I wanted to do it for the snack themed medals. I was like, I really want that Dole Whip medal, but that was the challenge. So I was going to have to do 3 5Ks to get it.
A week of marathon
and
training?
I wasn't worried about how much running, because I'm going to do all that running no matter what. Like,
oh, I wasn't worried about the distance either. The only thing was that I wasn't going to get any of the fanfare. I was going to pay money, and I was going to have to run anyway. And I wasn't going to get fireworks or characters or anything really cool. So no, I'm not going to pay all that money just to go run around my neighborhood.
But I do also understand that, like, for some people, that is their accessible way into a Run Disney race, because they can't afford to be going to the parks or to travel. And so this
or they can't hit the pace, and they know that, and they don't want to get there just to not do it. So I was going to bring up the accessibility
and maybe
aspect.
This is something that brings them joy,
well, now
so
I
that
feel
they
like
can
a jerk.
keep going.
Well, it's okay to have your opinion for you and like what you think. It's just, I can understand other differing perspectives as well.
Yeah, for sure. And if that's what keeps them going and like motivates them and makes them feel like, you know, helps them feel a sense of accomplishment, and then maybe one day they will be able to like go in person or whatever, I think that's super cool.
Yeah. No, I'm excited, but I guess in the grand scheme, I guess going back to the question of like what's the most cohesive theme you feel like we have over, or like what's like the best theme over the next year? And those can be two different questions if we're even comparing both coasts, so all the domestic races. I guess
I think Princess is the easiest for them because no matter what they choose, like it automatically will fall into theme. So
yeah.
it's like slam dunk for them. But outside of Princess, I'm not sure.
Oh, wait, hold on. I just went onto the Run Disney website because I wanted to like double check this. But Groot is a theme for the Disneyland race in
Yeah.
January
Yeah,
2025
Baby Groot.
slash
Baby.
February.
Baby.
Yeah. So they're
So they're
using
double
Groot
dipping.
twice.
Yeah.
They're double dipping into Groot. He's the 5K,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Both coasts.
They're both
Oh
cute,
my
but
gosh, why?
Buff Groot
But
is
why did That's another thing that like I have not done a lot of Run Disney races. I've only done 2 different weekends and I'm already going to get repeat themes. Which I mean that's not like a bad thing because you could reuse costumes and stuff, but and the medals also look very different.
I was gonna say I
So,
have something to tell
but
you
I've
about
already
marathon
done
weekend.
well, okay. Marathon that's separate though. I feel like and they used to not do all of the characters. Like that's relatively a new thing where it used to be just Mickey
Yeah.
was the theme for the marathon and like just Minnie was the theme for the 10K. So like they have changed it up slightly. Like it's more than just the Fab 5, you know. So that's fine. But I've already done Springtime Surprise 10K in 2022, and it was the race for the taste with Ratatouille. And now we're doing the half marathon in Wine and Dine, and it's Ratatouille. So, I mean, it's not bad, but at the same time, I'm like, I already did a Ratatouille race, and this is only going to be my third Run Disney race weekend, and I'm already getting a repeat theme. And if I had done the 10K for Wine and Dine, like I've already done the Tiana half marathon for Princess, so I'm not trying to complain, but why are they reusing themes so much? They have so many characters to choose
But
from.
then we get kind of random. So it's kind of the trade-off of like, because I know that's a big complaint about Princess is the repeatability, and especially
Mhm.
a lot of people were like begging for Cinderella to be back for 2025, and I was not teams.
They already did
Well, when you only
Cinderella.
have 12, it's hard to not repeat them. But it's funny because they were
Mhm.
begging for
True.
Cinderella and begging for no Moana. And because, okay, Moana and Cinderella have had the exact same number of repeats in the last few years, in the same years. So 2020, Moana was the 5K, Cinderella was the half. In 2022, Cinderella was the 5K, Moana was the challenge. In 2023, Moana was the half, Cinderella was the challenge. So it was the same exact number of repeats in the same exact years, but people were begging for more Cindy and saying, no, we don't want any more Moana. She's been used too many times. Which is it? Sorry, that was just a pet peeve that I had with that discourse. Of
I really wish people
Yeah,
could
you
see your
can't please
face right
everyone.
now.
I know. And you can't please everybody. And I know that that's again an ongoing thing with Princess too, with at a certain point, like how like the repeat or the repeatability of things. I like it because you get them in different art styles, and I have one. I Merida is now my only missing princess of the main princess lineup. So if they bring Sophia the first out for a 5K, I guess I'll have to add that too. But or I know they had Elena of Avalor. I think it was in 2018 or 2019 for a 5K. So like I guess I'll have to snag that as well. But or if they start kind of going off the beaten path towards, if like Tinkerbell ever comes as like a princess, if Mary Poppins is my dream. So stuff like that where it is interesting. I'd say that one of the most cohesive, well, it's probably a tie between Disneyland Halloween half and really Wine and Dine this year. This is the first time in a while that they've had it really like leaning into the whining and dining. It's all
Yeah, I
chef
was talking
themed.
about
That's
that with my
true, yeah.
coworker.
It's all
So let's
chefs.
tell them what they
The
are.
theming Okay.
So the 5K is the Swedish Chef from the Muppets. 10K is Chef Tiana. Half marathon is Chef Remy, And then it's Chef Mickey for the challenge medal. So I think that that's probably the most cohesive, and it was a lot of people were really happy to be back toward. Also, we haven't talked about the medals yet because we got those in the last week. Hold on, we'll have sidetrack.
Oh my gosh, I
Sidetrack.
know, right?
Yeah.
We can kind of get back to the
Well,
theme
that's
of
why we
this
told them
mean,
what
when-
the themes were, so we can talk about the medals.
When
Exactly.
when we
Segue.
saw the themes for Wine and Dine, when we saw the themes, I was kind of like, I've already done a Ratatouille race and I've already done a Tiana race. But I was kind of like, okay, this is really good that they are so cohesive.
Also, the medals are cute. They came or they dropped last week. So little stale by the time you're listening to this. I think a lot of the chatter around the medals is that they seem like they are going to be they seem as though they are like a enamel versus kind of what the style has been in the past. We're not going to know this
Yeah.
until really usually if they've revealed medals for a race, they're at the race before's expo. So what I'm trying to say is that Halloween half, they will probably have a copy of the medals available at the expo. None of us will be there, but
On display.
on display. So yeah, not for purchase.
Oh, but Kristen will.
Oh yeah.
Won't she?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and
So we could ask her.
Yeah, there are people who definitely start sending pictures and stuff out of the medals. They always send them to Once Upon a Marathon, and she reposts them, just so that for that knowledge. So by that point, I think we'll probably have marathon medals as well. But anyway, just to kind of not get sidetracked of just what like the finish looks like, and whenever they release pictures of them, it's funny because they. Like everyone's like, okay, is there a spin around that? Like, does that spin? Does that piece move? Does that look like there's a light on there or something like that? And it's funny the way that we all speculate and what until.
Well, the challenge
yeah,
medal definitely
I
looks
do
like
enjoy
it
the
will.
Run
Yeah,
Disney
it
ones.
does.
Oh yeah,
And I really like.
all of my Run Disney medals are like spinners, which is really cool.
It's nice that I like that, and I don't feel like they've done this in a while. Is that the challenge medal incorporates it's Chef Mickey, but it also has the Tiana and the Remy on there for the races that
It's like a
encompass it.
composite.
Yes,
Yeah, that's a good,
I love that.
and I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cute.
If you haven't Googled to see what they look like, the challenge one is like, it's got Chef Mickey. It's like a half circle. And then it looks like, we can't say for sure, but it looks like there's another full circle behind it that's divided into maybe thirds for each of the races. And each like third of the pie, I guess, is like a version of what is on the individual medals, and it looks like it might spin so that you can see all like spin through all the races that you ran.
It's cool because it looks almost like a pizza cutter if you kind of think about it. It almost reminds me of a pizza cutter. I don't anticipate being able to use it to cut pizza up, and I don't.
So they're really dipping into that food motif. That's awesome.
Because this is an anniversary. It's an anniversary for the half marathon, if I remember correctly. It's not the anniversary for the
Yeah, it is. It says it on the medal.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember if it was that or the challenge.
It's 15
I think
years.
The 2-course challenge for Wine and Dine, I think that anniversary comes up again soon.
So many anniversaries with Disney. It's like they never stop.
True.
They will use
Every
any
year.
excuse for it to be an anniversary of some kind, because that means you can sell special merch.
I mean, it's great. I love how they do so many anniversaries because then they do other special things like festivals and parties and merch and like really cute things. And they really put on a celebration. And that's not just with Run Disney. That's like with Disney in general. Like when they had the 50th and then they went straight into the 100th of the Walt Disney Company. So it was just like 3 solid years of partying and celebrating.
Oh man. So I think we've talked about pretty much everything. I don't know if you guys want to touch on kind of the 3 early wake ups thing now that just I guess really that you guys kind of are unanticipatedly getting into a 3 wake up
I'm
situation.
so not ready for this.
This will be
so not ready.
Caitlin and I, this will be our first weekend doing all of the races. And so we've never experienced 3. Well,
ma'am?
Yeah, we've never experienced 3 straight.
I've done
wake-ups.
No. It's that
I've done
you'll
2
have
straight
done Dopey
wake-ups.
before this. Just a reminder.
Oh,
we
yeah.
We
You
will,
will
but like
Yeah, Hannah,
mentally. I
you're
will.
coming into this princess weekend after having just finished Dopey.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
for me,
Ugh.
I'm like, oh my God, is this a mini Dopey? Am I going to be able to wake up and do
Honest,
3 straight mornings of running? And that's almost half the distance of the Dopey. Like, this is like 22 point something
Four.
miles.
now that you put it like
22.4.
that,
Okay.
now I feel like for you, yeah, you get to worry, but now it sounds
For
almost like
me,
a break
I'm scared.
because I'll only have to
For
wake up for 3
you,
instead of 4.
yeah.
It doesn't make that much of a
And I'm
difference, I
like, oh
can
my
tell you that.
God, what?
Did
I'm
you
like,
say it
what
does
am
or
I
doesn't?
doing?
It doesn't.
It
It
does.
doesn't.
Oh, yay.
You still
But
well, it does feel really good that
yeah, I was like, I really don't want to have to run all 3. But Austin was so insistent on just doing the 5K. He did not want to do the 10K. And then I was looking at the themes, and I love all the
are we
themes.
all
For
like
the princess, I'm
geeking right
not
now?
complaining. I love them. I've only ever done one princess weekend, so I don't have any of these princesses. I think it's fantastic. I love that Snow White is the challenge. And so I was like, I really want the challenge one, but am I going to do a whole half? Am I going to do a whole 10K? Like, and so I kind of just left it up to Hannah, and I was like, you know what, whatever, it's fine. Just sign me up.
I want
It's
for
okay.
context you to say that you, in assuming that I was going to be the chosen one, that you were like, I'm going to let Natalie decide. I'm like, if you let Natalie decide, you're doing the challenge.
Yeah.
So just think before you look before you leap.
Oh God, I know. If I had been the chosen child and if I had to register, I would have been like, well, let's see. Maybe the 10K would have still been open and I would have been like, okay, looks like Austin and I are doing the standalone 10K and that is all. So, yep, that did not happen.
I couldn't
was not
do
the
that.
chosen child.
After you told me that Austin didn't want, like, all he wanted was the 5K, I would have felt like you can do that because
So
you're
you
his
went
partner.
with what he wanted?
Well, because you're his partner, you could have done that. I'm not. I don't know Austin that well. I want Austin to not hate me. And I want him to have a good
True.
experience.
I mean,
I want him to want to come back.
and I told him, because now I'm doing all 3 events, I was like, we are walking. We are not going to be running this 5K. And so he was like, oh, wow, thanks. He was like, I thought that I was going to have to work really hard and do a lot of training, but okay.
You still want to train, so you're not not having a good time at the parks later,
sure.
but
Tomorrow is Hannah's birthday. So happy birthday, Hannah.
Yay. Thank you, guys. I'm excited.
My birthday is also in August, which is super exciting. I love August.
So when
the
it's
best
Caitlin's
month.
birthday, we will also announce it. And it's a very special month for us. 2 very big, important days.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes. And the Taylor Swift song, August.
Yeah. Okay.
But my husband actually asked me on August 1st, because I said that it's birthday month now. And he asked me, what do I want for my birthday? And I said, oh, I want like a gym membership, or I want to sign up for Springtime Surprise. I want that registration fee. And he was like, I don't want to get you exercise stuff for your birthday. That looks horrible. So,
Oh,
well, if you
He said
want
he-
it,
I know,
if you want
and-
it and it's something you want,
right.
it's not that he's like going like,
exactly.
here's a crock pot because I want you to cook more. If you wanted the crock pot, then that's lovely. Right? I asked for socks for Christmas
Yes.
because that's right. Like I asked for nice, thick, like running
oh,
socks,
socks.
my Belega socks, and Mr. Natalie has
Oh,
purchased
yeah.
them for me a couple. He's like, I feel like I'm like, no, but that's what I want. I need more socks. I like right going into
Literally,
marathon.
that's
I
what
need
I
more
want.
socks.
The first thing that I asked for, actually, I said I want a new Nike sports bra, because those things, it's the best one that I have. So that's my favorite. I would love another one. And he was like, really? Exercise stuff? Seriously? I'm not gonna buy you exercise stuff for your birthday. That looks horrible. And so I was like, oh, alrighty then. Never mind.
I do
I
appreciate
don't
the
even
concern
remember what I asked for
with the optics.
Mm-hmm.
Ben's super excited though.
Yeah.
He normally Ben and I are not like very good at planning ahead. I think we both have ADHD. Ben's been diagnosed. I have not. But so I like think about it way ahead of time. Like I've thought about what I want to get him, and then forget that I never did it. And then it's like the day before, like this year, I had to like go to the store and buy it in person because I forgot. Up until then, it was like, oh my God. But he ordered stuff weeks ago and it's just sitting in our closet because and when it came in the mail, he was so excited about it. He was like, do you think maybe we should do early birthday surprise? And I was like, because he's so excited about it, he doesn't want to wait.
Green flag.
I'm so
Great
proud
job.
of him.
Aw, good job, Ben. We're proud of you. The mom that I nanny for, she thought that it was already my birthday. And so she was like, oh my God, did I miss your birthday? And I'm like, no, my birthday's after yours. Like, it's the end of August. And she was like, oh, but I already ordered you something really, really good. And she was like, I just can't wait. And it was so cute. She got me a Kendra Scott Disney necklace.
Oh,
it's so pretty. Yes, I love it. I'm not like the biggest jewelry girly, but it's really pretty.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not either. I don't really do necklaces personally. I'm more of a like earring studs that I never take out kind of person, or rings. I do sometimes do rings. Like I wear my Aura ring obviously all the time, but and I have a couple that I do like on my thumbs and stuff. Maybe someday we'll have some other ring.
Hint, hint, Ben. That's really what she
Listen
wants
to
for
what
her
Beyonce
birthday.
tells you. If you like it, put a ring on it.
That was so ASMR. That was so good.
Sometimes when I'm just doing a mic test and then I inevitably have to, unplug and plug it back in and still have problems, I just sit here and I do like a little ASMR, like puppies, and I just say things into it. I'm like, wow, I can understand the appeal a little bit more now. Like crack the LaCroix. Like, ooh, that sounds good.
Okay, so we've got a new segment where we give shout outs to the people who have given us reviews on our podcast. And so, wow, we have 3 reviews with comments and everybody gave us 5 stars. So thank you so much. All right, so Tiff said, love hearing your perspectives on Run Disney and the parks. Oh, thank you. That's so cute. All right. Frank from Astoria, that's his name. He says, looking forward to this unique perspective on Run Disney.
That's Frank from Dillo's Diz.
I think Natalie knows
I do
Frank.
know Frank.
Yeah.
I know Tiff
Oh my
too.
gosh.
But
wow.
Yeah, thank you to Frank and Jen of Dillo's Diz. I really appreciate that. You guys are the best.
We appreciate your
so
support.
Cute. Aw. All right. And then our last one, we've got Mama ADH. She gave us 5 stars and she said, great introduction to the Stride sisters and their backgrounds to running and Disney. I look forward to following along on your road to Dopey. Aw, that is so cute.
So,
does anyone know who this person is?
Not
I do
yet,
not.
but I really appreciate
Our
it.
first surprise.
It's going to be really funny if you DM me and go, Natalie, it's me. But we really
because we all know it's most likely someone Natalie knows.
We really appreciate.
But it could be a new friend.
We love new friends. Well, we really appreciate that. Really, I hear a lot of podcasts say 5-star reviews really help boost the podcasts to see it in front of more ear holes, not eyeballs, but into more people's feeds. So we really appreciate the support. I think this is where I tell you to like and subscribe, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Mm-hmm. So I would love it if you did that. But,
I will.
I'm going to preach at you. But if you would like to, if you want to hear more, like, subscribe to the podcast, recommend it to your friends. If you're training for the marathon, you know that longer runs are coming. So hopefully we're someone you want to have with us on those.
We really appreciate everyone's support and for leaving us 5-star reviews on our podcast. I had a really great time talking with y'all today. From all of us, thanks for tuning in. And until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time.